Alright guys, so the news has officially dropped that PlayStation will not be attending E3 2020, making it the second year in a row that Sony is opting out of E3. So we're going to go over this information and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinion on this as well. And this information comes from gamesindustry.biz. We went over earlier how it seemed like Sony was going to be announcing something today, and here we are, they actually did. And as of right now, the only thing they announced is that they're not attending E3. They didn't say too much about a PlayStation 5 event. I have to assume we're going to learn about that very soon. It says here, PlayStation will not participate in E3 2020. The company will instead attend hundreds of consumer events across the globe. PlayStation will miss E3 for a second year in a row. The firm told GamesIndustry.biz that it does not feel the vision for the event is right for what it has planned for this year. Instead, it will attend hundreds of consumer events to showcase upcoming games for PS4 and PS5. After thorough evaluation, SIE has decided not to participate in E3 2020, said a Sony Interactive Entertainment spokesperson. We have a great respect for the ESA as an organization, but we do not feel the vision of E3 2020 is the right venue for what we are focused on this year. We will build upon our global event strategy in 2020 by participating in hundreds of consumer events across the globe. Our focus is on making sure fans feel part of the PlayStation family and have access to play their favorite content. We have a fantastic lineup of titles coming to PlayStation 4, and with the upcoming launch of PlayStation 5, we are truly looking forward to the year of celebration with our fans. PlayStation has used E3 as the place to unveil details of its next consoles since the very beginning, attending the first E3 in 1995 to detail the U.S. launch of the original PlayStation. The company's success at E3 2013 was viewed as a major moment in the build-up to PS4, which resulted in Sony reclaiming the market leadership from Xbox. However, E3 organizer the ESA has struggled to satisfy all of its members who have been split over what they want the show to be. Some publishers, such as EA and Sony, want to see E3 become a fan celebration of games, whereas others would rather the event remained an industry-focused affair. The ESA has tried to satisfy both groups by introducing some consumer elements to E3, but with limited success. So there you have it. Sony officially confirming that they are not attending E3 2020. And honestly, I don't care that much. I say this because E3, it's clear that it's just not what it used to be. You're going to see people, mainly Xbox fans, just being real here, that are excited to see Xbox at E3 this year, make it sound like this is some kind of major detrimental news. But even industry analysts, even people who are well aware of a business decision versus a decision like this is in no way going to affect Sony and PlayStation as a business. And I am going to say, honestly, that from where I'm sitting and based off of what I've seen the ESA go through with the E3 over the past couple of years, at this point, I think this hurts E3 more than anything. I think it's safe to say that E3 needs Sony way more than Sony needs E3. Sony is well aware that they do not need E3. And them choosing to opt out of E3 2020 is confirmation, I'd say, that they're never going to show up there again. And honestly, again, I'm fine with that. I don't really care because I know that Sony knows how to build hype. They know how to generate excitement. If there's something that 2019 proved to me as somebody who was looking forward to some of the things that PlayStation was going to be announcing and talking more about in 2019, it turns out that you don't need to have massive big shows constantly to get people excited. I mean, just look at last year with E3, right? Microsoft's showing was okay. I'd say it wasn't the worst ever, but it was definitely not as big as people were hoping, and maybe that's because Microsoft knew Sony wasn't going to be there, so they're like, you know what, let's save some of our bigger stuff for 2020 when we show up at E3. Turns out that wouldn't have mattered either way because Sony's still not going to be showing up at E3 2020, so the stage will be all Microsoft's, which will be good for them for sure, but you have to remember that Sony, they just make these and they just drop these subtle announcements, where it's like Insomniac Games acquisition. They dropped the announcement of Death Stranding's release date and a new trailer, 8-minute long trailer. They do stuff like this all throughout the year. They drop some Wired articles talking about the PS5, and the hype is just through the roof. and they didn't have a single big show. Now, don't get me wrong. I like having big shows. I do like E3. That's what, I feel like people need to understand that. I like E3, and I look forward to it each year. I've been not really as thrilled with what we've been seeing from E3 the past couple of years, and with Sony not being there last year, it just didn't really feel like E3. It was pretty much a major letdown. And so my only hope is that Sony does choose to do like bigger shows going forward, like whether that's them planning their own or, you have to imagine State of Play plays a big role in this. But as they said, they're going to be attending many more consumer-based shows. So this should give you a little bit of a hint as to what Sony plans to do. Like, I know they're doing a PlayStation 5 reveal event. There's no way they couldn't do that. They're going to have a big event planned, probably in New York, and that's most likely where they're going to reveal the majority of their stuff. And then they're going to kind of, build that momentum going through 2020 by being at these other consumer shows and probably having state of plays. And who knows, maybe they will have more big events going forward. But them opting out of E3, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It doesn't come as a surprise. I mean, Jason Schreier today tweeted out that E3 is in the worst shape it ever has been, and I believe it was Daniel Ahmad, even though I don't, really follow him too much anymore. I don't know if I don't know when he tweeted this out, but he, was comparing E3 statistics to many other shows that happen throughout the year, and they're just abysmal. I mean, you're talking about like 63,000 people total showing up, compared to many of these other shows have over 250, 300, 350,000 people showing up. So, yeah, that on top of knowing that last year it was discovered that E3, or the ESA, I should say, the company that runs E3, basically doxed thousands of journalists and YouTube personalities and whatnot, people who were invited out there to E3 or who went to E3, and their personal information was doxed without them knowing. So you have to imagine that already puts them in a bad position, because a lot of people are now going to be like, you know what, no, I'm good, I'm going to pass this year, I don't need to worry about that happening again, because that's obviously a nightmare for anybody that happens to. So you put all these things together, and yeah, I can't say I blame Sony for skipping E3. I know people are going to be disappointed. There's obviously going to be those people that are like, this is just damage control. Like, listen, you want to think it's damage control? Go ahead and think it's damage control. But mark my words. In fact, mark this video, bookmark it, come back to it 6 months from now. When I tell you the hype is going to be through the freaking roof for the PlayStation 5 and E3 is going to have nothing to do with that, remember I'm saying this. You're going to see just how much Sony doesn't really need E3. 2019, in my opinion, made that very clear. That proved it. But now you're going to see, with Sony launching a new console and not attending E3 in that same year, you're going to see just how much they don't need E3 and how much E3 is actually going to need Sony. And unfortunately for E3, I don't think Sony's going to be coming back. So, yeah, I mean, Microsoft continues to show their support, which is fine. I think if Microsoft had to, they could do their own events as well, and it would work out just fine for them. But, yeah, it's safe to say that E3 is pretty much done. Stick a fork in it, I guess, right? It's disappointing. I never wanted to see it go this way, but this is what happens when you have an organization like the ESA mismanaging things and making critical errors and just not being able to keep up with the times. We live in a day and age where Sony could probably just get by if they really wanted to on just Twitter announcements and state of plays. I mean, that's just the age of the internet, right? As much as I love these big shows and I hope to see Sony continue to do them to some capacity, I think the days of E3 are pretty much over. But who knows? Maybe Microsoft will prove us wrong. They're going to be there at E3 this year. I'm sure, I think I read a report where the rumor was saying that Microsoft was already aware that Sony was not going to be at E3 2020, and so because of that, they are going to up their plans, which is exciting for Xbox fans and, for gamers in general. That's great. But it's just, I'm sorry, it's just not going to feel the same without Sony being there. I just have to wonder now what this means for the PS5 reveal event. Is it going to be much bigger than we thought because of this? Are they going to jam-pack everything into there? Are they going to have multiple events spread throughout the year that are going to be a little bit smaller in scale, and they're going to kind of trickle it out? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. It's going to be really interesting, but I have a very, very good feeling that whatever they choose to do, it's going to be very successful for them, because the thing is, Sony, they're masters of generating hype. They know what they're doing, and with the PlayStation 5, They're not going to be taking it easy. They're not going to be sitting back and coasting. No, they're going to be getting people excited. I mean, if that logo reveal that happened at CES is any indication of what's about to happen, yeah, I'm not really worried about E3. But, I'll still watch Microsoft's conference and maybe some other publishers as well. But that does it for the video, guys. Told you I'd make this video updating you, try to get it out here as quick as I can. Let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. Are you upset that Sony's not going to be attending E3, or were you expecting this? Do you agree with me when I say I don't think Sony needs E3? In fact, I think it's the other way around. Or do you disagree with me? Let me know why or why not down in the comments below. Leave the video a like if you did enjoy it, if you found it informative, and if you're excited to see what Sony's plans are without E3 in 2020 when it comes to the PS5. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already. Hit the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.